Hello everyone, and welcome to the first Disventure Camp 5 review for episode 1, Total Fanfare. Now this episode was, I'd say, like a really good episode. I have got my thoughts together, and I think this is really good. I've seen some videos online about people being all negative about this episode and all that, but I think this episode gives a really good impression for their fans and favorites. It gives some dynamic clues with some flaws in there, but I think this being a pretty strong start to the season. Now, is it a better start than editing every other season, like DC4? No, I think it does a less good job introducing the fans and getting us back into the groove of the favorites than any other season, but I think it does a pretty decent job, you know. It's enough for me to be excited for the season, but introductions aren't really that stellar. But we'll get into that later. Anyways, let's get into the first review, baby. Let's go! So after the introductions, we get introduced to the fans. So this was, I love all the fans, by the way. So we got Ren, Aubrey, Aura, Bruno, Manu, Nura, Ernesto, Evie, Finn, Sam, Dunia, and Aubrey, which I find this is like an awesome lineup. I love it so much. All the fans could make interesting storylines and plot potential, and I like all of them, but with that being said, some of them will fall short for me, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But for right now, I think we got a very good selection of fans. Next, Confessional of Bruno, and oh my gosh, this makes me actually love Bruno. Some people might find this annoying, but me personally, I love Bruno's energy, because I would feel the exact same if I was going on Survivor, or if I was in that universe going on Disventure Camp. His energy is awesome, and I love it. It's not like Gabby's energy, it's just the right amount of different to make it like, wow, it's not copying Gabby. It's just like, I love his energy, and I feel bad for him later in the episode. So yeah, I think Bruno, this is a really good start for Bruno, and it's the first confessional of the season. Even though I'll get to my predictions later, I can say confidently that I'm almost certain that he ain't making it that. Well, no, he ain't making merge. He's definitely not making merge, but you'll see what I mean. And we get a confessional from Evie about Botox. I'm not too high on Evie. I can see why people like her. Like, I definitely can. I can see her being funny, but she doesn't make me laugh. It's just like, she's interesting. Like, I'm at the edge of my seat when she's on the screen, yes. But I don't necessarily, like, on a tier list, I can't say I love her. I put her in like. She's genuinely entertaining. And as a character, she's expendable, let's be honest. I'll be fine, because Disventure Camp always has me on the edge of my seat. Every elimination, even like in the elimination we're about to get to, it was like, by elimination, I knew who was going home. It's the first elimination, so I'll give him that. Either way, Evie's alright. Alright. So we get to see the fans arrive on the beach. Something to note, Ren is the first one to step on the beach. I don't know what that could possibly mean, but I just like to hear these kind of things, like Ren's the first one to touch the beach. So it's just an interesting thought. Maybe it can lead to something like, maybe it's the last fan standing, because he definitely wasn't the first one out. And based on the seating, Aubrey was the last one standing, so she's the first boot. So something to think about. I doubt it. Like, I'm telling you, that's wrong, but it's just something to keep in mind, you know? Anyways, so we introduce the fans, and on the beach with Emily meeting them. Bruno says something about being ready for the game. Yeah, you know what to do to win. He's the thing that confuses me about Bruno, right? He knows what to do to win. Everyone has a different way of playing the game, but he easily put a target on himself both in the challenge and just being one of the first ones to speak. I feel like he should have waited. He was smart when he wasn't the one to go on the journey to put a target and another target on his back, but still, I feel like Bruno could have definitely handled that better for his character. Then I'm pretty sure no one else makes it coming except Finn and Sam. This is a literal army is something I quote, like, when there's too much things going on. Now I just say, this is a literal army. So, yeah, I quote Disventure Camp a lot, but that's a new one. Thanks, Finn. I love Finn, by the way. You know what I mean by love. Anyways, Sam, being like the normie in a good way, guy he is, just says, so who's on the other team? Because Emily says they're all one team, which is like, ooh. But one question I have is, when they were like signing up and you joined Disventure Camp Season 5, is that all that? But because on the Disventure Camp website, it says join Disventure Camp 51. I meant Survivor 51. So, that's a question, but I think it just says Disventure Camp 5. It doesn't say the theme. They could at least make a fake title and say like Survivor 5 Super Fans or something like that. Either way. Let's introduce the favorites. Alec and Fiore are here, and honestly, very good. I love them both. I've been watching reactions. One thing I did notice is that they do get out of situations a lot, and even though they didn't do it this episode, in episode 2, they're probably going to find an idol, or soon, they're going to find an idol, and then get out of their situation. It'd be different if they picked, like, everyone without an idol, and then, like, nipped out cracks, exposed them, got people out because they had grudges and stuff. That would be interesting. I do hope that not both of them makes merge, because I believe one of them will, and I really hope Alec loses at some point in the pre-merge, because I feel like your position is like dead. Fiore has been at least quiet, so very interesting. I do love their pairing though, and I want to see them for at least 8 episodes. So next we see Gabby and Tom. Honestly, love them too. Not as much as Alec and Fiore, obviously. But I do love Gabby and Tom together. I'm eating it up. Can't wait to see it this season. I believe that both of them are going to make it fairly far for at least enough for the general fans who like Gabby and Tom together to be satisfied. I think if ONC does that, Gabby and Tom will be fine. If Tom is paired with, like, people like Gabby, Aiden for the season, I think people won't mind that. I feel like Tom could be a very good character. He's just a little overexposed. I think that's the reason no one likes him. Other than him being a himbo, which not a lot of himbos are well-worn in Disventure Camp. Actually, all of them are fairly negative. But yeah, I can see why he's on the favorites. He was able to find, like, $1 million. No, not $1 million. Almost $100,000, I'm pretty sure, for Tom and Jake. And yeah, I think I'm very excited for them. Yeah, even Tom, by the way. I was just interested to see how Tom plays, and I guess he's gonna be focused. Aiden, Rosa, Lake, and Allie. Oh, I gave ChatGPT a poll recently, from Alexa, the YouTuber, saying she's also one of the proofreaders of DC5, to just get that down. It was a poll saying, which generation are you most excited to see from the favorites? ChatGPT picked Gen 2 for them being mostly together for the most part. Probably more reasons other than that, but either way, I think I can see where it's going, though I'm more excited to see Gen 1 and 4 more than 2, but either way, I love all these guys. I love all of them. Thing about this generation is, like, I love everyone from these 4 at least. They are so entertaining, and I am extremely excited to see them this season. All of them, I want you all to shine, even though Aiden's going in episode 2. Spoiler alert. So, Natalia, Spencer, and Anastasia will get the Benji last. So, I would go over these guys one by one, because I feel like they're too different to do together, like season 2. Natalia, not gonna lie to you. I'm just not gonna lie. Natalia is going to do really good this season, for multiple reasons. She is the only one to get a full redesign, new pants, new top, not only different hairstyle, but she has, like, a headband. So, like, yeah, she's guaranteed making merge. If you think otherwise, then you're a Natalia hater. I promise you're a Natalia hater. Natalia's making it far. Farthest? No, I think that's going to go to Spencer. But either way, I think Natalia is going to make a deep run, because, like, they gave her a full redesign. So, you could be saying, oh, you're a hypocrite because you want Aiden gone. First of all, I think Aiden's going home anyways, because that should be strategically beneficial to something we'll get to, I'm pretty sure, episode 2, or maybe we'll get to it later. Anyways, Natalia is just going to make it further. She's the only one in her generation to get a full redesign. Lake got a full redesign. I wouldn't say Rosa got a full redesign. She's wearing the same pants. Just a different top. Just kind of different. And Ali did too. So like he's not the only one. 3 of the 4 got a redesign. Natali's the only one to get a redesign. So you at least have to say Natali's gonna make it farther than Aiden. Anyways, Spencer has the best strategy. He's being quiet this episode. I'm just so excited to see him in action, and I want to see how he plays the first elimination, because honestly, if he's going to play quietly, how is he going to do that? Because he's not a quiet person. He loves saying his thoughts out loud, and I'm curious how he's going to be quiet, because he's not a target. Alex is the main target, the majority main target right now. Spencer isn't. He's like, if he stays quiet enough, he could make it pretty far just overall, because Rosa, Lake, Ali, Aiden have no reason to hate Spencer at all, even though they're probably going to eventually. They don't have a reason yet, which would be like, wow. He'll just be like a pawn, so that everyone else on the team would get further. Either way, I think Spencer's making a deep run. Finally, Anastasia. Yeah, I think she's going pretty much, but I'm so excited to see her. I like how she's doing a nice side. We got to see, if you want to see her evil side, go watch DC4. Want to see her nice side? Continue watching DC5. I love that. I might do that if I ever join Survivor. First time I play ruthless, flashy, rude? I don't know. But in DC, and next time I come on the show, I'm just nicer. I'm less flashy. I'm more with the majority, etc., etc. So that would be very interesting, and I'm excited to see her again. So Benji. Benji. For Benji, I'm very excited to see him. Love his new strategy. Love everything about him. Love his design, even though it stayed the exact same. For that reason, I think he's gonna go pre-merge. But unlike in my last prediction video, I think he's gonna make it further, and you'll see what I mean at the end of the video. But yeah, I think he's still going pre-merge. So yeah, Benji's gonna be a fun addition to this cast. I'm not gonna lie to you. Finn, this confessional was the only reason that you are not an absolute icon. Moving on. So, with Aubrey, we'll talk about her mostly at the end, but for right now, her confession about hating Alec is okay. I mean, I like Aubrey. This episode definitely moved her down a bit, but I think I still like her somewhat. Aubrey, in this confessional, like, hating someone for the confessionals, I mean, disliking, sure. Not trusting, sure. But hating is, I don't even think she said that. I'm just rambling now. Either way. Aubrey, basing someone off the, astrology sign is just crazy. She, like me, somewhat, because she obviously didn't target Finn, and I'm a Leo. So, alright. I don't know why. I like Olivia. Like, now I'm seeing her, she's just so innocent, and it's, like, kind of fun to see. So yeah, she's one of my favorites, honestly. Not an absolute icon, but she's definitely moving up the ranks from neutral. And Alec in the scene is interesting. I'm also going to count this as his confessional. You know, Alec really did lose everything, and it's just, I feel bad for him. Alimony and child support is crazy, and that's probably wild expensive. And since you're only a tutor, you're definitely not getting paid it back. So, you are making zero, and you owe a lot. So, yeah. I can see why Alec would make it far. But I feel like this is something like a passing the torch down to Fiore to, not to help, but like to win, at least. Because she might give him some help to pay for some of that alimony and child support. Even though I doubt Fiore's winning. Either way. I don't know why. I just really want Fiore to be like a somewhat nicer person at the end of the season. That would just be so cool. I would be gushing and screaming over that, and you guys would have to bear with it. So, when I saw this in the trailer, I didn't do a reaction. I'm just gonna say I was jumping up and down. Because, like, I always found it an interesting idea to do an elimination episode in episode 1. And especially in the returning season, I feel like it's necessary. And I think after the season, they're gonna just start doing this. Unless the cast is, like, 18 again. Because I'm assuming they're gonna stick with the 26 episode format until they go broke. So, assuming they don't go broke by season 6, and assuming we don't go back to the 18-player format, I think we're pretty solidified for another elimination at episode 1. I feel like even if they had 22, they'd still do it, but I think if 20 is like their limit to be like, okay, we need a non-elimination episode. Either way, I'm excited. And when I was watching the episode, I was extra excited because someone's going home. Ooh, I was so hyped. So far, the episode has been doing a good job keeping my attention, and I'm, like, extremely excited for the rest of this episode because I was, like, so hyped because it's the beginning of a new season, and I'm liking everyone so far. Yes, everyone. In some capacity, because even the ones I don't necessarily like, I either feel bad for, which we'll get to that character, or they're somewhat entertaining. So, I like everyone, and I'm extremely excited for the season. Even now, even after seeing the episode, I'm very excited for the season. And yeah, let's continue with the episode. So, this confession I want to talk about real fast. I love this full circle moment, because Alexa, one of the proofreaders, actually changed the scene. I don't know, Alexa, something else. Either way, this scene was like, she changed the scene because apparently it was just going to be talking about his strategy. But we got that in the introduction, so thank you for changing that. We didn't really need that. I'm glad they made this full circle thing. I'm glad she watched the reboot, paid attention, and noticed this detail. I'm glad this was like now I'm a favorite. It's like so much better. See? Also, was that a good, like, I feel like I could be a voice actor one day. I'm just saying. Either way, excited to see Aiden this season. I'm glad he came full circle. And you think he'd make it far in this kind of season, but he better not. Because I swear on my life, he better be going next episode. I want to read this right. Also, can I say, this challenge is actually, like, really good. Glad they didn't put the 5th season. It's like, they're doing Survivor 50. This is like a celebration every 5 seasons kind of thing. And we start with fans versus favorites. And I'm like, awesome. I think Survivor could have done the same thing. Every 5 seasons, do like a little big returning season, or at least half returning season, like a hybrid. But either way. Anyways, so I love this challenge, you know. I'm glad they're redoing this challenge, because this challenge is actually really amazing, and I love it so much. Is it the best challenge ever? Absolutely not. Not by any means. But it's a good starting challenge for any season. It does give them, like, separate times so they can bond, and it's very entertaining to watch. Because it's capture the flag. If it's just paintball, then that's something you can do at the merge. So it's like process of elimination. But like capture the flag's fine. Very excited for this. So yeah. Well, I'm not excited anymore, but I was excited for this challenge. I can't wait to see it again. But they copied the same design for the paintballs as All-Stars. So that's an interesting detail. So I've set it for this image for this section, but I'm just gonna be talking about everything that happened. Well, I'm not going to be summarizing it, but I'm going to be telling you my thoughts on everything that happened. Because if you're watching a review for an episode, you've already seen it. Anyways. Anyone who didn't talk, I'm not counting. Unless we're talking about Fiore. We'll start with Alec and Fiore. Alec is on the underdog. It was very smart of both Spencer and Fiore to keep their mouths shut. Because if Spencer talked, he would have just did something horrible like he did in episode 1, giving everyone a bad impression. That was his first mistake in DZ4. So yeah, I'm glad he kept his mouth shut because now his position's better. And I love that. I love the difference between when you have stay silent and when you talk. It's something very major for him. Alec talked. Now, was that stupid? Yeah, I'd say so, actually. I'd say so. Would they like him anyways? Nah, but it didn't make your target less big. But anyways, I guess Alec's the talkative one this season, and he ain't recovering from that. That's why he ain't making it late merge, or I'd say even merge, because that mistake. I feel like he can go worse than Spencer. Either way, Tom in the scene. I didn't expect him to be leader, so that kind of caught me off guard when watching it. But I like this for him. It's pretty interesting. Anastasia showing her dislike for Alec is interesting. Defending Tom's good. You're staying with the majority, but at the same time, now you know Alec does not like you, and that's probably not going to pay off well. I can imagine Alec finds the idol, doesn't use it immediately because, like, I don't know why. But either way, he won't use it immediately, and then he uses it later to get rid of Anastasia, assuming Aiden's already gone. Right? Because I don't think they're going to use the idol in episode 2 of all episodes. So yeah. Did anyone else talk in the scene? Gabby did. She's cool, love her. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I love how Lake's trying to focus on the game, not just have fun, which is very interesting. I love it. But of all the times for you to have fun, it'd probably be the challenge, I just imagine, especially since this one's pretty lighthearted. So that's just something I noticed, not something against Lake. Aiden saying, I'm not letting you go without me. Very nice. I love how they bounce off each other. And I feel bad for Rosa because she wasn't in All-Stars, so she doesn't have these pre-built connections to, like, Aiden with Tom. Because that wouldn't have happened if All-Stars didn't happen. So yeah, I feel bad for Rosa. Ultimately, it was her decision. But yeah, that's probably bad for Rosa. Feel bad for her. I can't wait to see her happy later in the episode. So yeah, that's really about it right now. Real fast, Tom's confessional about finally playing is interesting, and I think people would find it interesting that he almost denied it. But yeah, because I feel like he almost denied it in All-Stars too. I'm very interested on how he's gonna focus, and I can always see it in episode 2. Jeez, almost dropped my phone. And Lake's confessional was even more interesting. Sure, she didn't make it for an All-Stars, but that makes the how far you made it target off her back. Because I'm just going to see her as super threatening. She only got 8th place in Season 2, which is pretty... It would be pretty good if it was like a 24-player cast, but it was only 14, so that's not saying much. You didn't even make it halfway through. And also, she didn't do very well either. So I feel like if she makes it just halfway through, it'd be good. When we get to my prediction later, you'll see what I mean by that. So yeah. Now to the fans. Now, what do I think? A lot happened. Dunia and Nura's rivalry is going to be something very interesting. I cannot wait to see it because people are speculating enemies to lovers, and I think so too. Because, I don't know, it's a rumor that they're going to focus less on romance and more on strategy, which is a good and bad thing. I go down for the romance. I love to review how it's written. But I think even so, they're going to do some romance on each team. Especially like a fan and favorite romance. Yeah, this is when when I was watching this episode, I didn't feel super bad for Ernesto because he treated it like a pouty baby instead of being like, alright, let him put a target on his back. Let him be wrong. It doesn't, do anything to me. In fact, it lets me stay hidden a little bit longer. And they'll see how wrong they are later. You know? Ernesto gonna handle that better. I feel bad for him later. You'll see what I mean. Bruno taking over is kinda annoying. Kinda just don't care. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I just kinda don't care. He took over. His strategy, I don't know what his strategy is. Be open? I don't know. I don't know what your strategy is. If I can get a greeting, if I had enough money to get a greeting, I'd ask Bruno what his strategy is. Because you said you had a strategy and you were ready to go. But doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it. I love Aura in this scene. So I think that's it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think anyone knows to talk. We saw Bruno talk, Ernesto talk, Aura talk, Nura and Dunia talk. We saw Finn's talk. He was fine in the scene. He didn't do much. So yeah. Alec and Fiore. Honestly, power duo of the century. So the scene starts, and I'm loving it. So let me just tell you why. Just telling you all the reviewing why they don't want to work with anyone from DC4. They start with Fiore says Benji's more of a liability than an ally, and I watched the reactor. He said, "Use him for his vote." Fiore, I love you, girl, but what are you doing? Use him for his vote. It doesn't matter if he's a liability. If he's bad at challenges, use that on him. What? Use him for his vote. I'm telling you. That annoyed me. That annoyed me so much. I just can't stand that. And then she said the model doesn't like you, which that makes sense. Okay, I can get you that one. The model doesn't like you. She's retired. She doesn't know that though. But yeah, Anastasia doesn't like Alec. That's out of the option. And then Fiore comes up with another stupid reason. I was like, okay, Fiore, what are you doing at this point? Another know-it-all with an accent. Listen, it's gonna be annoying to hear two British guys talking about strategy together with you. But Spencer plays almost exactly like you. In fact, he might be a little more flashy than you. You know, just a little bit. Like, I'm just saying, like, Spencer is like a goat. Like, you can take him to the end, and if you're in a finale with Alec and Spencer, I feel like you could beat both of them in a jury. Both of them. And I mean both of them in a jury. So, yeah. I think Spencer would have been like, fine, alibi. Whatever. They're probably still going to work with him at some point, but whatever. And then Natalia flipped on everyone they worked with. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. She did flip on everyone. Even though she's changing that strategy and what they're saying didn't age well, I'll give them that. The worst reason was probably a tie between Spencer and Benji's. Either way, getting the idol was probably their best decision if they're not going to work with any of the DC4 players. Yada yada. But Fiore saying all that stupid stuff makes sense once she gets shot. So, Sam, right? Sam and Aubrey, I like their dynamic. Especially, this was like the come before the storm for them. I like when they get along. And honestly, I could see this as a good romance. I was watching a reactor. He said that he would have they'd have the most vanilla romance ever. First of all, Sam is not that dark. I mean, not that light. He ain't that dark either, though. He's mixed. On a skin standpoint, not ethnicity. On a skin standpoint, he's mixed, I'd say. Or like a very like tan. He's like tan. More of he's tan. Mixed seems like the wrong word. And yeah, Aubrey's next level Caucasian. She's pretty pale in my opinion. So yeah, their dynamic's very good. Dynamics very well. I like it. And then yeah, I don't know what my Lex is doing. Anyways, Olivia, or as Aubrey likes to call her, Olivia, pops up from the tree and scares Sam, which honestly made me chuckle a little bit. When Sam gets scared, it's actually kind of funny, let's be honest. So yeah, I like this tree, and I think they can work well together if Aubrey didn't hate Sam. So, Ali and Benji. Let's be honest, they're amazing. Like, I'm telling you, their dynamic this episode is very small. Hope it's bigger in episode 2, especially if the favorites lose. Because I have a big feeling they're going to be in the power position. Swing votes, all that. Anyways, Ali and Benji are going to be so cool when they get developed and have some kind of plot line. If they're just like this nice pair, they need some conflict. Like, when they're in a swing over position, maybe Ali is swinging towards the Cyan Alliance and Rosa. And then Benji's swinging towards Alec, Fiore, Spencer, Natalia, and Anastasia, or something like that. I think if you do that, they'd at least have different point of views. And it would be very, very interesting, and I would love to see that. But for right now, I like this for them, you know? They don't have to ever become enemies, especially with Ali finding her happy medium and Benji not taking the game super seriously. I feel like this could be a very fun duo, and I'm very excited to see them in action. But this episode, they're just kind of chill. Them taking out Manu and Bruno is pretty awesome. And I love Manu, by the way. I don't know. Like, this episode showed, like, he's, like, a pretty cool dude, and I love him so much. Bruno, I like how he has a confidant. Something to know about me, I like scenes where it starts, like, the scene started with Dunia, then Ren got introduced, then Nura was there for a quick second, then Dunia at a confessional, then we see Dunia and Ren with Sam appearing, then we see Sam walking away with Dunia, then Ren gets shot, then Natalia appears, then Tom, Gabby, Aiden, and Lek appear, and then it ends with Natalia looking at them suspiciously. I love scenes that just go from one thing all the way to another thing. Like, it's just so fun. So I'll do a quick review on each part. I think Dunia was about to do a ritual until Ren appeared as a Cheshire cat. I think that's how you pronounce it. Dunia is like very fun. Her voice actor, I didn't get to watch the live stream, but it was just, I love her voice actor and her character's energy. I think they match each other very well, and I think I'm gonna like Dunia, especially because I think she's gonna make a pretty deep run for the most part. Some would say she's a winner, but would ONC really do that? I think they'd pull a Nura win. I think they're more likely to do that. That's just me though. Either way. Ren's also cool in the scene. I like how he's just hanging around, always like on top of a tree, because that makes the dynamics very cool. Like, I could see him being in alliance with some people, and then him just popping out of a tree, just hanging from the tree the entire time. That would just be cool. Like, just always seeing him in a tree, unless it's like a challenge where he can't be in a tree. It's pretty cool. I like that. I can't wait to see more of Ren and Dunia. Nora's comments was funny. Death, yeah. Death's always going to come in life. It's inevitable. Taxes, also inevitable, unless you unfortunately die early. Or, I don't even know what other scenario. And Disney adults, try to avoid those people. I'm joking. Either way, that just starts their rivalry, other than the beginning of the challenge. Just like a second phase. No, we're doing the first phase of the rivalry. I don't even know what the phases are, but definitely still in the first one. Then Sam appears, gets scared again, which I find funny. I think I like Sam. Sam's the kind of person who can go with anyone and make it entertaining. Because even though he's like a normie, he's a very good one. How can a lady refuse such an offer? Give him hell, Ren. Very, very interesting. Love it so much. I love it so much. Like, Dunia is so cool. Sam's so cool. Then, is Ren the first one to interact? Like, have like a kind of talk with a favorite? Either way, that's interesting. That's why I'm excited for the merge. Or team swap. Preferably team swap. I'm excited for that because the fans get to meet the favorites, and that will be a very interesting experience. Especially if you're on a team with your favorite character, that must be awesome, and that's why I think Bruno's gonna make it that far. Because I feel like if he doesn't, that would just be like, why? That's it, just why. So yeah, I can see why Ren's excited to see Natalia, because they're both kind of like like they changed their pronouns, kinda. Okay, I'm done talking. For the sake of time, we could skip to this scene. At first, we see Aura and Finn and Evie, but she's not really there. So we see Aura and Evie, Aura and Finn, and I like how they get along. Like, because I know it's not gonna last long. I mean, it's gonna last decently long. I think till like at least episode 10. Their rivalry is like kind of foreshadowed because Aura did push Finn off the log, so that Finn might be a little bitter for that one. Even though that's just, like, not something significant again, it shows that Aura would push Finn off of the bus to survive. I think that's what's going to happen. What foreshadowed in that scene was Aura betraying Finn. Either way, the sign of lines arrives. I love this pose so much. I imagine it in my head so much. It's something that will never leave my brain. I'm not even going to summarize the scene, but I love everything that happens in it. Finn and Aura make a good dynamic duo. Like, they worked very well together. Even though they didn't exactly work together, they were doing effective things that should have worked on paper, but in execution, it was just time-consuming and made them lose. But at least they tried. Aura's strategy of just shooting in there carelessly was just a last resort kind of thing. She's definitely going to at least try to shoot at Gabby, even though she was pretty close every time. Either way, yeah, Lake ran away with it, which I found pretty cool. I think Lake would be a pretty fast runner. We might be at a time crunch, but I'm just saying let's real fast. Apparently, I look scary when I run at gym, like I'm about to punch someone in the face. Like something like that. I think me and Anastasia run pretty the same, because when I run, I apparently look, like, scary, like I'm about to hit someone. So, yeah, just something interesting. Anyways, Rose and Anastasia's dynamic early on is just nice. I think they're going to work together well. Strategically, it's going to be very interesting. It does confuse me a little bit on something, which I might get to later, I might. But, yeah, very interesting to see that. And Sam and Spencer, half flirting. I'm gonna say half. Emphasis on half. Clue word half. Flirting. It's interesting. Might be foreshadowing. I don't know. I'm just speculation. So yeah. I see this being a very interesting. Those two dynamics are very interesting. The photo on the screen is just something I got from the fandom website. The favorites won immunity after Anastasia attack with Dunia, and Lake arrived at the finish line. Love it so much. I kind of, in some way, wish the favorites lost, because I was more confident with Aiden going first than Evie going, because my prediction for the fans losing was Evie, and my prediction for the favorites losing was Aiden. And I was wrong with Evie. Yippee! Not a good start for my predictions. But either way, yeah. I think them winning's awesome. Allie and Benji are cool. Because since Allie's single now, I was like, maybe they can get together, but oh wait, Benji's dating Tristan. And I don't think ONC is going to end that relationship. Especially because of how much people loved it. So, yeah. Rosa winning's awesome. I like how Aiden and Gabby fist bump. It shows that Gabby forgave Aiden, which is good. Holding grudges is not something you want to do. And you know Aiden is holding no ill will if she's not. I think Lake and Tom can make a dynamic duo as well. I like how Aiden claps and Talia just flips her hair. It's just awesome. And Alec lifting Fiore up is one of the best parts of the episode. The journey twist was awesome. I was so happy because I wanted some kind of twist this episode, and it was a journey. Oh, I love it so much. I think they should do multiple journeys throughout the season. It's not going to happen, but if they did, that would be so awesome. I would love multiple journeys because they do it in Survivor, and I think it'd be even more interesting in a show like Disventure Camp. Maybe like do it episode 5, then again in episode 10, episode 15, episode 20, and then maybe like episode, like sometime in the final 4 or something, I don't know. It'd be fun to see someone lose their vote. It'd be very fun. Because that's something they haven't done yet, I'm pretty sure. I'm like almost confident they haven't done that yet. So yeah, the journey twist is awesome. Earlier, I mentioned feeling bad for one of the fans. It's Ernesto. Because he gets ignored multiple times, and like, the first time, he got like a pouty baby, like I said. This time, he's just like, excuse me, and I was like, oh, like, I actually felt like crying. I don't know why. I'm an emotional person, but like, geez, I didn't think I'd get emotional for freaking Ernesto, and that wasn't even what they were trying to do. It was more to be like a comic more relief thing, like Evie pretty much is. So, I think I just feel extremely bad for Ernesto. And I can't wait for him to get his comeback. I doubt I'm going to care about him this much in future episodes, but if he keeps saying, excuse me, like that again, I'm probably going to get emotional again. So, everyone's questioning why the fans picked Alec to go when he's not trustworthy, and that could affect the fans in the merge if he makes it that far, or in a team swap, which they probably don't know about or speculating at all, because a full team swap has never happened. But, I personally think they did this to make good television. I feel like if that was the reason, I feel like people could forgive them a little better, because, like, honestly, let's be honest, Alec Fiore are obviously at the bottom. Even though they didn't see, like, the favorites interact. Yeah, they have to know that Alec on the bottom here. So, giving him it would be, like, good television. I think it'd be very interesting. And, yeah. Even though he didn't get an idol, and he said that's a vote steal is exactly what him and Fiore needed. Is it? Anyways, Evie and Alec goes on the journey. And Evie flirts with Alec. Alec is 34. She is 58. Do I need to say more? I thought, unless you want to, Natalie was a little bit weird for the fact that it was 10 years and that's like a lot, I'd say. I'd say that's a pretty long freaking time. That's a whole decade. But 2 decades? Absolutely not. And I love how she said later that he's gay. He's not. He's straight. And he doesn't need to be gay. Ever. Either way. Evie is desperate for a boyfriend. I don't think she's gonna get it. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I think they need to make Ernesto and Evie have good chemistry in order to make it work. Either way, Alex is hilarious in the scene because, like, him dealing with the Evie of all characters is interesting, but it makes you question how him and Ernesto would have interacted. It would have made it very interesting. I doubt that they're ever going to meet again, because I doubt Ernesto's making it far, and I doubt Alex making the merge, even if Ernesto did make it far. But, yeah. So, yeah. Alec got the votes too, which is pretty good. Not gonna lie, Fiore and Alec, pretty good duo. Aiden made good fun, was crazy. But I think Benji laughing was very interesting. Because you don't even know Alec. And I don't know. I just don't believe that Benji's laughing because of Alec neglecting his son. I don't know. Either way, he might know that might be the reason. And if it is, I guess it is. Either way, I don't see Benji laughing. I don't know why he did. But yeah. Everyone else makes some kind of sense. Allie kind of doesn't make sense. I don't remember Alec doing anything to her specifically, like, at all. In fact, I think they're more allies. And Alec's one of the reasons that Alec got great out in All-Stars. So it's like, okay, I see it. Another fun fact, the background for the sunset is my favorite one because it's beautiful. The mix of red, purple, pink, blue, I'm pretty sure. And yellow, just a perfect combination. It makes it look so beautiful. The trees, the mountains, the other islands look absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing, and they killed it with the backgrounds this season. And I feel like in DC6, it was especially like a Blood versus Water season. They could do a mix of like blue and red for the sky, and I think that would look beautiful as well. So yeah, I like it a lot. I think this elimination and every background looked good. Okay. Anyways, the lighting also makes Lake look good because like Lake's like I feel like Lake popped when it's like sunset background. It's like her hair stuck out, her clothing stuck out, her expression stuck out. Either way, it sets up Rose's arc of pride versus loyalty. I don't know. ChatGPT's telling me what it is, but pride versus something. And it's going to be a very interesting one. Can't wait to see how it progresses. And Anastasia in the scene's nice. This is a perfect example of her nice side. Going to one of the nicer contestants of Season 2. And helping her out. Even though Rosen did nothing to help Anastasia. Anastasia helped anyways, being the first to help. Because in the scenario, you'd think it'd be the opposite. Honestly, I think that's really nice of Anastasia. So, something very interesting. Maybe he's gay. What do you think? I will check my gay address book. That's awesome. That was Evie's best line in this episode, one of the best moments this episode, and I think what was even funnier than Evie was Finn saying, "I'll check my gay address book." That made me laugh, audibly. So yeah, Evie not telling them anything significant, that'll put a target on their back, and she was never the target. It was Bruno, and then it was Aubrey. And I promise you, Bruno's the target now, and I doubt he's going home next for that reason by itself. Next on the fans, not next in general. Gotta clarify that. Either way. So yeah, Ara pushing Finn. I feel like that's foreshadowing, but just let that pass. Yeah. I like Aubrey's, like, she could be strategic, but she can also be bubbly in the same conversation. And I think that's just nice. I love that for Aubrey. So I wish she made it further. Or at least got an exit interview, but apparently she hasn't. So, listen, Aubrey is just so cool, this scene. And when Ren shows up, it makes it even better. Obia screams, then Ren screams, then Aubrey screams, and screams like a lot. And that I find that hilarious. This scene's awesome. Yeah, every scene Ren's in, honestly, very good. Kind of like Sam, he can go with anyone and make it entertaining. For the sake of time, I'm gonna cut to this part. Aubrey making Sam a public target? Are you crazy, girl? What you do? Okay, what you do? You get Obia to back you up a little bit, and for you don't to sound like not too insane. You pull Ernesto and Ren aside. I mean, maybe not Ren because he probably already knows, but maybe just in case. Say, but let's vote off Sam. He's untrustworthy. He's not helpful. All these kind of things. Because at least it can give you like some they have time to think about it separately. Like making this big move, like Finn said, when put a shotgun on your back. If you actually did that, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. If you talked to the right people and did that, that's how you want to survive. If you want to just done it separately, didn't ask like Dunia, but like you told Ren, like Nura, for example, that's an easy vote. Say, Nura, tonight we're voting off Sam. So just do all that. If she has any questions, answer them. Why not Bruno? Well, because Sam's this, and this. You know what I mean? Either way, once she made that big move, she was kind of cooked. And just like that, Sam... Jeez, I can't believe it. Oh, gosh. Aubrey was the first one voted off at Disventure Camp 5, fans versus favorites. Now, gonna say this, I was not only... my prediction as of this episode was Aubrey in 9th. I'm about to show you. Aubrey in 9th. So, well, I'm not about to get to that later. Anyways, Aubrey, 9th, thought she was going to get 9th. She got 24th. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She had so much potential and it got blown away. All in the wind. Will she come back? Because, hold on. Look. She might come back. Will she, though? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it. I just don't see her coming back compared to like some other people. I think she has potential to. And I think in the comeback challenge she'll make it fairly far. I'm not gonna say she's gonna win. I have barely seen her in the challenge. She didn't get shot, so that's like, okay. I think Aubrey has a pretty fair chance of coming back. Both potential wise, narrative wise, and like the actual challenge eyes for realism. Someone who's good at challenges winning makes more sense than someone who's not good at challenges winning. Like Benji winning the comeback challenge would be incredibly weird. It'd have to fit his personality a bit, and that's like almost impossible. So, yeah. So, that was episode 1 of Disventure Camp. So, this episode, I'm gonna make or find a tier list for me to put this on. But this episode was about... I unfortunately can't make a tier list with only one picture. So, I'm just going to tell you that this episode was a 8... Yeah, it's an 8 out of 10. Mainly for justice for, Spencer and Natalia. This episode's a great episode. It's a great first episode, great episode in general. It's not amazing, and it's not peak DC5. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it's going to happen. It's just not... The pacing isn't it. With 24 players, it's a little too much. I think they're going to continue doing it for a little bit, especially for hybrid seasons. However, I just don't think it's good for pacing. They still can make a good story out of it. It's just the pacing is just off. As less people are in the game, I think the better the potential will be. Right? The better the potential will be. The episode? Maybe, because there could be 2 people left and it has a horrible finale. But with 24 players, it's like better. Either way. So yeah, thanks for watching this review. I'm gonna make a video on episode 2 predictions before I watch it. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.